Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing fantastic. Here's my eyes. Who wants to see a close-up of my eyes? That's about as wide. That's how wide they go. I'm gonna start painting in a second. I have to do something real quick. I'm about to do something and to update my live stream here. Just updating on my phone. Making some changes to this live stream here. All right, we're gonna include this, a free trial to Amazon Audible, free trial membership. Get access to a massive library of audio. Let's see, what does a human face look like up close? It's always good to see a human face up close because, that's how you really study it. You just analyze it. Just look and analyze and study and view and just watch it. And then that's how you learn how to paint it. Look at lots and lots and lots of faces. But here we go. Here's a painting that we've been working on. And today's live stream is titled, How Much Art Do You Have Left in You? And a young viewer of mine the other day asked me how I find the time to paint, how I manage to find the time to do my artwork. And it's one of those things. How do I manage to find the time? It's one of those things, and one of the things that motivates me to paint a lot is, of course, you have to love it, first of all, right? If you don't enjoy what you're doing, there's no point in doing it at all. Especially if it's a personally, if it's something that you need to get yourself motivated to do, in the sense that, we all need motivation, but, unless, like, I'm saying, like, versus a job, right? Like a job, why you have to do something. You got to make money, you got to, pay bills, you got to do all those things. And you have a boss that explains or tells you what you need to do, what you need to accomplish. So that's what I mean by, when you're self-directed in something. And, just because you're self-directed doesn't make it a hobby, right? Like, you can be self-directed in artwork, and it doesn't make it a hobby. But anyways, this thing that motivates me, and something that could motivate others, is this idea: how much art do you have left in you? And let's say that you're in your 20s, or let's just say you're in your 50s. Actually, I think this is a better way to really put this into perspective. Let's say you're in your 50s and you decide you want to become an artist, and you decide that you want to make sculptures, and you realize that the average person lives until they're about 80 something, and even the average person, we're not going to say everybody's average. We all want to be beyond average. We all want to be better, live better than average. But let's just use, for example, the average person, right? Mobility, all these things. You want to be a sculptor, and the average person, man, lives until they're about 76, and woman lives until they're about 81 in America, in the US of A. And you ask yourself the question, how old are you now? So just use an example of 50 years old. You're 50 years old. You want to become a sculptor. If you're a man, you have about 26 more years to live. So how much art do you really have left in you? You really got like 26 to 30 years left of art making. And how much art do you want to make versus how much art can you put out, right? Like, if you can only make one sculpture a year, you only got 26 sculptures that you can make for the rest of your life. And this sounds kind of dark, it's a little bit, could be upsetting to some people to tackle this conflict, this personal conflict, a fear of death, to discuss it. But it's something that I think we all have to come to terms with. And it does raise that question, like, what motivates me, right? Knowing that the clock is ticking, right? There is only so much art I can continue to make. And that is a really powerful thing to me. That's a very powerful motivator. Especially if I enjoy making art, if you enjoy making art, you want to be an artist, it's something that you're passionate about, that's something that could motivate you. So anyway, let's go grab some yellow ochre here. We're gonna try to tighten up our palette and keep it fairly limited here. So we're gonna place some white onto here, yellow ochre, and then we're gonna go with bring in some more of our titanium white. We're gonna lay that down right into here. And we still have some of our burnt umber, our dark burnt umber, rather than black. And let's get started, shall we? Hope you're all doing fantastic. Hope the initial conversation, the initial theme of this live stream, which is how much you got left in you. We've all got a lot left. But you know what? If you've got those years, you got to make the best of it. So here we go. We're going to use this paintbrush. We're going to use a slightly smaller paintbrush here. And let's just start getting some nice little highlights here. I want to update this area around the eye. So let's start bringing in some nice natural color here. Some nice natural coloration of the skin. And we're going to go and then we're going to come down like right here, bring down some nice natural coloration right there across the top, just adding in some highlights into our face here. Let's come around the outside here. And I'm actually using a little bit more of a thicker paint. The paint I use, I don't shy away from using paint. You can see that this paint is lasting quite a while. I'm spreading it across multiple areas of our painting here. And let's go, we're gonna find some purple here. And let's just, kind of go into here. Find some purples, bring in this pink again, and continue into here. And let's find, let's find this purple. Let's find a nice light purple version of this here. I'm just trying to see how it comes together, how it's all going to come together here. So let's add some of this into the eyebrows right here. And we're gonna go, let's, create this a rounded shape around for the nose here. And just building up some colors around the face here. That's it. Because we've already got a initial layer, and at this point, my goal is really just to build up some color zones to give this, that nice, beautiful painted look, right? That fully painted look. I'm just gonna blend this in with some of the fleshy areas here. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna come down, really take this down a little bit. And then we're gonna go right into the nose, the nostrils here. And then there we go, get right into the nostrils here. Get into the other nostril. I guess that's called nostril, right? That part of the nose. And let's bring this down here. Bring this, and get some light right up onto the nose here. And here we go. Let's bring some bright areas around the eye. Some brightness around the eye. And let's go like right here. We're gonna come down. And you know, that's the great thing about painting with oils is, you know, I think with acrylic, things dry so fast. And the benefit of painting with oils, like, there's really like two major benefits to the long drying time. One is if you know, it's intimidating for people that paint with acrylic. I've actually heard people say to me, "Wow, you paint with oil? Like, it's actually, you know, kind of." People from acrylic have actually said that, and I started with oil, so I really don't know what it's like to paint with acrylic. And you know, to me, it just like people who've been intimidated by oil, the things like, oh, it takes a long time to dry, and I don't know why that's a scary thing. I think there's actually two major benefits to drying, to it taking a long time to dry. One is that if you're painting and you're trying to get everything done in a single go. One is that you have days, depending on like the thickness of your paint. You have days to modify your painting. So like, if I don't like the shape of this head right here, or this hair, then I can like actually, if 1 hour, let's just say I was painting this and it's only been 1 hour and I'm working on this hair, I can move this hair around and like push the paint around for hours, for days if I wanted to. And then here's the benefit. So if I don't want to paint while it's wet, if I don't want to paint while the paint is wet, I can just wait a little bit. And you know what happens when you wait? It dries, and you just go ahead and just let it dry, and then wait until the next time that you're ready. And that's it. That's it. You just wait. Just wait a couple days. Now, it won't be fully dry in those couple days, but you'll at least get the majority of it dry, allowing you to do your magic, do your work, and all of that. So we're just gonna keep painting this. I'm gonna paint this down right here. And just get some of these features. Just building these nice larger details. Some of these much larger details. Gonna add a little highlight right here. And here we go. So we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna come down and bring some more highlights around into the chin here. And just continue building up these colors. That's it. That's it. Just build up your colors on top of your oil painting, and you know that's the magic. That's where the magic happens. You know, we learned from Bob Ross how to paint landscape and nature, and you know, Bob Ross. I think learning from Bob Ross is great because you can like, you know, paint these massive landscape scenes in just a few moments, but the thing is you know, Bob Ross really never showed you how to like look at something, look at nature, and you know, paint what you see in nature. And this isn't like I'm not hating on Bob Ross. I love Bob Ross. Who doesn't like Bob Ross? He's the artist, the creative teacher that we've always ever wanted. And you know, Bob Ross is amazing. And there's so much that he's given the world. Now, what I'm saying is ultimately that, you know, although Bob Ross taught great painting skills and he really inspired a lot of people to get into painting, you know, one of the things that I learned real quick is that, you know, learning to paint Bob Ross should not be the final result that you're looking for, in my opinion. But who cares about my opinion? Nobody, right? Who cares about my opinion? Nobody cares about my opinion. So I'm gonna add some rounder highlights here. And let's go, boom, a little bit up the nose here. And let's come into here. Just gonna blend around these softer edges. Let's add some yellows. I'm gonna bring in some yellows around the neck here. And I think instead of keeping this area in shadow, I think we're gonna go for it's tough because I have these really deep shadows in my painting or in my reference image. So I'm really trying to navigate that and figure out, you know, sometimes your reference photo isn't the exact you know, the best photo as far as references go. And you know, you have to make adjustments and figure out how you're going to navigate that element of it. And that's definitely something that I will have to figure out right now. So let's see what happens when we mix a yellow with our purple. I think that's pretty much going to create like a more of a gray. But I want to try our yellow ochre mixed with this quinacridone violet that I have and just see getting like a really brown color. Well, you know what? This can always be modified. So I think this would be an interesting shadow color. So we're gonna go ahead and paint into our shadows here. And we're gonna go use this. We're gonna use this to make some shadows around the face here. And let's see, so I'm gonna come down like this. Come around. Let's see, I can actually find a balance between these two colors here. Just trying to find a good like mix for our shadow area. You know, I don't want to just paint it like a dark color. I just want to I want to be able to capture the shadow and the directions of the various light, but let's see here. Let's go here. Come around. And this eye area is a little bit too thick. So how do we bring this down? We're gonna come down like this. And let's see, we're gonna add a little bit of shadow right under the eye. Let's see, we're gonna come in down here. We're gonna try to push away some of this. Let's try to grab some of this to get the eyebrows up. And let's see, how's this? You know, this face, I might need to take a little break on this face for now. Arena, thank you. I am so good, thank you. Appreciate that. Yep, we're working on a little portrait here. A little portrait practice. I'm doing this series where I do portraits of various people that I know. I think it's interesting because, like, you know, it's so easy to want to do portraits of artists because, you know, or like celebrities. You know, that's like the thing, right? Everyone wants to do portraits of artists because you never know when they're going to be like, they're going to retweet you and you'll blow up as an artist. That's like the dream, right? But, you know, I've always wanted to just like paint portraits of everyday people, right? Just anybody who, you know, obviously it can't be anybody and everybody because, you know, at some point it's going to be people that can't afford your effort, but at least in the meantime, I want to make some paintings of just people who I happen to know. So here we go. We're going to come down here, and I got to decide on whether this eye is in the right place, and it's not. This eye is not in the right place. Other people are going to watch my live and support it. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you trying to manifest that getting other people to see my live. I really appreciate that. That is very, 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 very grateful for that. For you manifesting that for me. Thank you. You know, one thing about painting though, that's really giving me appreciation for is makeup artists. Makeup artists, people who do eyebrows, things like that. Like, you know, you move an eyebrow just a millimeter in the wrong direction, and that person looks like a totally different person. That person is no longer the same person. You know, you move an eyebrow in just the wrong direction, just a millimeter of a shift, and you've got a totally different person. But yes, what brings you in? Well, thank you, Arena. So what brings you in today? What caught your attention with this live stream? Are there a lot of artists on here right now? Like, are there a lot of, do you find a lot of artists streaming right now? Excuse me. People often say, like, oh, you know, there's so many artists out there. There's so many. But honestly, I don't really think there are. There are not as many artists as people think there are. All right, this eye needs to move in a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on fixing up this back eye to make it just look a little bit better. And what am I going to do? How am I going to do that? Let's go. I'm going to bring this over. And then we're going to reduce the size of this. Like the hair can move. The hair can be in the wrong place, but the eyes cannot. The eyes cannot be in the wrong place. So I'm going to make some moderate adjustments right now for this nose. This eyebrow can come around a little bit. Let's go perfect eyebrows pretty much. Let's go perfect eyebrows right up on this line around the nose. Yo, Omiz, the centurion. Alexa, what is the definition of a centurion?
A centurion is a military official in the ancient Roman army responsible for command of a century. By the way, you have a new notification.
Of a century? Command? Omizu has command of a century. That's cool. All right, Omizu. Look at you taking charge.
Sorry, I don't know that one. But you can ask me to recommend a podcast.
Look at Omizu taking charge of being the centurion. Omizu the centurion. I like that. That's powerful, Omizu. Claiming your power. That's fantastic. Claiming your power. Oops. So of course we will fix these eyes eventually, but you know, for now we're just marking where we need our eyes to be. And let's go like this. We're gonna bring this down. We can actually bring the hair around. And let's just start working around the face a little bit. It's okay if you mess up, you like it. You know, I know it's one of those things like where this is one of those paintings where like some people it's okay to mess up, and then like there's some people that there's some people that you don't mind like being really expressive with, like no one really cares how you paint a celebrity or whatever. But there's some people that that you paint and you're like, okay, I want to get this fairly accurate. Fairly accurate. So, I do have to, like, I'm treating this not as a commission, but like, something that I will, be able to use as promotional in a sense. Like if I was to do portraits, this would be a good piece for people to see. So just adding some more vibrance to this this face here. Some vibrance. Of course, the eye looks a little messed up, but we can work through that. I should try googly eyes. Oh, Omizu talking about a century of painting. Yes, Omizu's. I see Omizu's century-long painting, the dragon. By the way, Arena, if you have art, so just for context, Arena, Omizu here in the live stream is also an artist. There's a lot of inside, not joking. I don't want to say that they're jokes. They're just like inside info. If you visit this live stream long enough. So what we're talking about right now is a painting that Omizu's been doing, and he's been working on it since pretty much like childhood. And Omizu is an adult man now, and he's still working on it. And I said the other day that it was the painting of the century, or the painting that takes a century, either one. So just to fill you people in who are just kind of jumping in and aren't really familiar with this little community of artists that we've got going on. That's what's happening. So Arena, are you into the arts? Are you creatively engaged with your brain? Is your mind creatively engaged? For everybody's brain. That's a dumb question, Emmett. Everybody's mind is creatively engaged in some way. Everybody's mind. Everybody. Yes, that includes you. If you've had a thought in the past excuse me. I've had a bit of a cold, sore throat this morning. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. Even though I cough quite often, I just hope it doesn't go beyond where we're at right now. But anyway, I think it's being exacerbated by the oil paint. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so filling people in on the live stream. That's where some of our thoughts come from here is you paint too and you mess up. Well, that's great. Yeah, I mess up a lot. I mess up a lot and I fix a lot of things. I spend a lot of time fixing artwork because I don't usually do a like a pre-sketch. I mean, I do a pre-sketch, but I don't do like a super tight traditional pre-sketch that you might, learn in a traditional art school. In a traditional art program. That's what I mean. So here we go. We're gonna come down with this, go right into the eyes right here, and then so let's go ahead and try to find some eye details. Let's go with our white here. We're gonna go right into the eyes. Let's go. How do I get this nice and? Let's almond up these eyes here. You don't usually want the pupils to be too bright because they're rarely ever this white. But right now I'm just working on having some minor adjustments so that I can start to shape out these eyes. You know, we can always paint over it at some point. But good to like start to get the shape here. Yeah, the white doesn't always really look that great. Too much white. So here we go, and then we will adjust this in a few moments, but let's see up in here. We're gonna tighten up this because his eyes look like they're a little bit too closed. We're just gonna get a little bit into here. Well, thank you so much, Arena. By the way, Arena, do you have a, I don't know, if you want, you can feel free to plug your Instagram handle here. I know that a lot of artists don't like it when people share their social media, but I absolutely love it when artists come in and plug their own stuff. So, you know, if you're still here, I don't know, but if you're still here, feel free to plug your social media channels. You know, plug your artwork, plug your Etsy shop, your whatever you got. Feel free to shamelessly plug your artwork in this live stream, because I will have it for centuries to come. This live stream will be on the internet for all of eternity. It'll be here for all of eternity and beyond. So whatever you want to say on this live stream will be around forever. By the way, this is only for, software is only open to if you're 18 or older. I don't want any body under the age of 18 sharing their social media on here, preferably. Nothing against it, just, you know, I think it's important for people of all ages to protect their identities and their socials. So, you know, I hope I didn't say this too late, but if you are under the age of 18, I will remove your social media. But if you're over, feel free to plug as much as you like. Plug. That's the name of the game. Plug yourself. Hey.
Really?
Yep.
Hey. Hi. How are you? Hi, pretty boy.
Let's go with this. Let's go with some dark shadow here, and we're gonna come around on the eyes. I think the eye's just a little bit bigger around this spot here.
Scout?
All right, let's clean out this brush. All right, Arena, since you, by the way, you're back. Welcome back. I did mention, I don't know if you were gone when I mentioned it, but you can feel free to, if you're over the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, then do not do this. But if you're over the age of 18, feel free to plug your social media channels, your art pages, all of those things. Instagram. This is a commercial-friendly live stream. Commercial friendly being, you know, I know a lot of YouTubers would be very sensitive about if you were to, you know, share, like, how dare you share your artwork on my live stream, right? I know a lot of YouTubers would be sensitive about that, but I'm not. So feel free to. You can join the community. Let me see how I could tighten up these eyes. These eyes are slightly, these eyes need work. We're gonna have to rework the shape of these eyes a little bit. So I'm actually gonna grab a yellow ochre, mix this with our pink, and let's shape this eye a little bit. We're gonna and then we're gonna go right into here. Let's go bring this down a little bit into our shadow. And come around. Why not reduce the whiteness of this? Marisol Smith, welcome. What's up, Marisol? Hello. Hello, hello. I'm gonna add, let's make this a red, make this a red purple for our nostril here. Yeah, we're gonna go with our and let's go like this. So what's the newest? Marisol Smith is here. Marisol Smith has entered the room. So I'll celebrate the entry of Marisol Smith. We need a theme song here. I think Marisol needs a theme song. Alexa, play a random WWE entry theme song. No? Alright, well, Alexa doesn't want to play a theme song. So that kind of has, that idea has backfired. So I guess we're not getting a theme song now. Marisol. think this side's a little too big now, so we're gonna go bring that in and around, and bring this up. Let's go. Let's paint into these jackets for a little bit. Switch up our mindset here. And let's see, we're gonna go into our jacket space here, to our jackets. And we're gonna go right up to here and paint these down. Let's keep this going around and around. Make sure that we get it nice and oily here. Grab this brown and just get nice and dark. And bring some more of this out. Let's get this into the color of the hair. Just get some nice dark hair here. Scout, what are you getting into, bud? Why are you getting all aggressive with the furniture, huh? My cat's getting aggressive with our furniture. Scout, what's up, dude? Why are you getting all aggressive? Super. Oh, here we go. Look how wet this paint is. It's a nice juicy paint. That's actually what I wanted, though. That's good, because what you're doing is you're giving like a nice thin layer of paint to just lay over everything. You know, a couple layers, just glazing it along. Glazing it along. Let's see, I can go like this and probably bring this in just a little bit. And we're gonna bring this down. Actually gonna paint over this entire bottom area.
Alright, I gotta go.
Okay.
Get my nails done.
You're getting your nails done?
I got
Oh, you
them,
got them
yeah.
done. Pink. Yeah, they were white before.
Yeah.
Cute. Okay. Show the world. Hey, who wants to see cat's nails?
Very artistic.
Here. Up. 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 Right there. Ah, there we go. Some beautiful nails.
Okay.
All right.
Alright, I'm going. We'll probably eat 7.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. These are fed.
Let's take some of our yellow ochre. We're going to mix it with our red here. Let's bring in some of this brown. Mix in some of this brown here with our yellow ochre. Bring that, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna go ahead and just paint this down a little bit more. This paint is still really wet. It's a little sticky. That's the worst time. This is the worst thing about oil painting, is that timing. You know, if you don't let the paint fully dry, you're gonna get this like little sticky, weird sticky oil paint. Like oil, the best time to use oil paint is one of two times. There's really only two of the best times to use oil paint is either fresh or paint on top of oil paint, I should say. Is either when it's fresh, when it's still wet and pliable, or when it's dried. But if you paint in between, there's like a point in between where if you try to paint with oil paint, it's like it just like creates this, it's like still sticky. And you know, it just comes down to timing sometimes. Like when you actually do the painting. Because it's funny because this side, although I painted these two pretty much the exact same, this side's still a little bit wet. It's sticky. It's you know, it still has some stick, which means the paint's not gonna go on. It's not gonna be as vibrant. Arena. So who is this a painting of? So this is a painting of an anonymous couple. This is going to be a mystery. An anonymous couple. An anonymous couple. very anonymous couple. But I do know them. Let's give this a little bit of a, let's give it a little bit of a brushiness, a wispiness of hair here around the top here, some softness into the hair. The couple that shall not be disclosed. Yeah, that's the one thing about painting celebrities, though, is, you know, with celebrities, you always know, like, they don't, you know, like, obviously they want to maintain their intellectual property, but, you know, they're celebrities. They're online. You really don't have to worry about doing paintings of them, because it's just like, you know, they're there, right? They're there. They're there for your painting. But when you paint like private people, that's another thing that, you know, you definitely got to consider is their privacy. So for this couple, I'm keeping them private because they're not celebrities. Commission, so this is technically not a commission. I have been commissioned by, I have received commissions before. You know, it's like, why do I spend all this time? My question is, why would I spend all my time painting celebrities who have never commissioned me versus, you know, people that have actually purchased artwork from me? Even, you know, if they didn't actually hire me to do this specific painting. It's like, why do you spend time with people who give absolutely no crap about you, and you trying to, you know, vie for their attention versus people that have like helped to support you, and you know why? Like why? So that's kind of my philosophy here, whether they be friends or celebrities or whoever. It's kind of my philosophy in painting this. So this is not a commission. But I am going to start a series of paintings of people that I know. And you know, this will probably last a while. Who knows? I'll make a couple of these. Maybe a dozen. Might pick a dozen or so people. Dozen or so people. Alright, so this is paint booger that's been bothering me here. It's like a... That's one paint booger. Yeah. Excuse me. And there's one up here. One right there. One right here. It's getting rid of paint boogers. AKA dry clumps of paint that happen to get onto your canvas. But let's see, we're moving along here. We've got some good coloration, we've got some good details. It's pretty interesting right now. I like where it's at. Let me see. But you know what? I don't want to keep avoiding doing the really important details, which is both of these wonderful, wonderful faces. Both of these wonderful faces. And I shouldn't keep avoiding that. But I did want to make some of the clothing a bit, you know, add some more drama to the clothing. Let's see how this is gonna go. We're gonna go right here. Let's see if we can add a nice little shadow into here for the eyes. Here's another thing. This eye should be a little bit higher than this one, so that's one thing that's kind of should be pretty much higher. So we're gonna go right here. This eye is probably the most important one of this whole painting, so I'm gonna have to rework it a couple times until I get it right. But you know, that's the thing about oil painting is you do have some time to you do get time to fix and modify. So that's fortunate, but let's go like this. And it's also one of those things, like, I think, you know, if you don't have the ideal photo, that's another thing too, is getting the ideal photo that, you know, a lot of that can't be like repeated enough is, you know, when you're working from a photo, it's like you really got to pick the right one for what you're trying to do. And you know, I pretty much picked like a random photo because like this person did not have too many like glamour or dramatic photos, so I pretty much had to find one that would be best suited for this. And sometimes, you know, they're not ideal. That's what artists are for, right? They're supposed to be there to not only figure out the reference, but also, like, you know, provide the got to give the reference and the, at least the great artists, right? They had models that they would just have model for them for hours on end, and they would draw and sketch and then build something on top of that. So for me, right now, I'm just trying to work with the images that I had. I couldn't really ask them to do a modeling session for me or anything, so. But I think that's a modern skill too, though, right? Like being able to know what to include in a drawing or in a reference image that you do get. You know, that's a skill in itself. So working on that too. That's something that's important to learn. That's something that I feel like I'm constantly on the search for, is that balance, between too much realism and, like, beauty. Because I don't think realism in painting is really that beautiful. It's it's not. I don't find it aesthetically pleasing to, like, to see, like, hyper realism in painting. I don't think it's. But there's some secret that the old masters knew of capturing capturing people. And here's the funny thing, like, the thing that I think that the old masters knew was, like, just lots and lots of practice. Like I say it like it's some sort of secret, but they just practiced lots. They like they had to know how to mix their own paints. They had to they had to sketch for years and be like an apprentice artist before they could even touch paint. And while I'm glad that art has come a long way since then, um, it's an opportunity for all artists. It is one of those things that's like, if you're asking the question, well, what made the classic artists so dang good? Well, they had lots of practice. They didn't have social media. They didn't have, they didn't have video games to distract them. They didn't have video games. They didn't have social media. And honestly, they didn't have they probably didn't have like 100,000 different jobs, right? They just probably found work as an artist, or they were either an artist or they weren't, I guess, right? Like, I think that's accurate to say, is they were either artists or they weren't. And if they were artists, they would spend all of their time making art, probably 30 hours a day, making art for the kingdom, for the church, for the ruler of the time, so that they wouldn't get beheaded. And they had to make it so good that they wouldn't get beheaded. I think that's a good motivator. And if you didn't think that you were capable of that, you probably would not pursue the arts, right? I don't know. Would you pursue the art if you knew it was like life and death? Like, you knew that if you didn't make good art, that you would pretty much, like, that the king would take away your life? I wouldn't. I like my head. I just don't think I would do, like, straight up, I just don't think I would be an artist in classical times. I'm a bit too stubborn. All right, we've got the basic shape down, I think. I've really made some good progress. Yo, it's Raya S. Everybody going higher with this Raya. Higher with this Raya. Going higher with this Raya. Here we go. See, Azraya's got a theme song. Because her name rhymes with something pretty cool. Zraya gets a theme song when she comes in here. Now we just gotta get Tariko to make a beat with us for Azraya. Just gotta get Tariko to make the beat for is higher with Azraya. All right, so this nostril here, let's add some highlight here. Now, where's Tariko to give us a nice beat, huh? Where's Tariko? So I want to give these lips a little bit more volume here. There we go. A little bit more volume. And then let's go on a bottom one here, this bottom lip. Add a little bit more volume to this bottom lip here. All right, seeing some stuff that I must modify. I think if we can add some of this, right? Some of this little blush into the side of the face here. Some of the blush into the cheeks, right? A little blush in the cheeks. And then we're gonna go, red's always a good color to put onto a face, I think. We'll go blush on the nose, red onto the nose. That's looking nice. I should like that blush. Just subtle, just a subtle color. Even though it's not accurate, of what I'm seeing, I like it. Let's bring this lip. We can actually add just a little bit more volume to this lip right here. Just a little bit more volume. There we go. Let's add some, some rouge around this side of the face here. Some rouge around his face. Pictures coming together. Yeah, I was looking pretty wacky before. You know, it's always, that's the beautiful thing about oils. You know, it's like you can always keep working it. You can always keep working it. No matter how badly you think you messed up, and I don't know if this is true for acrylics. I don't talk about acrylic. I mean, I definitely know for watercolor. If you're doing watercolor, like you're pretty much screwed, right? Because you can't really paint over watercolor unless you use like something more opaque. But you know, that is one thing about watercolor. It's a very, anyone who can do watercolor is a very talented artist. AKA Paul Cézanne. Paul Cézanne, either one. I wouldn't get annoyed at anybody for pronouncing his name wrong. But Paul loved the watercolors. And here we go. We're gonna come down and boom, boom, boom. Get the hair shadows here. Get a little bit of the hair shadow. Hair's gonna come down like this. Hint the shadow here. Come on, let's go. Where's the shadow? There we go. I don't know if that really looks like a hair shadow. It kind of just looks like her, like some unusual shadow. So maybe I won't have that, but I do need to move this hair in a bit more. You know what? I'm actually gonna bring in some black. Use a little bit of black here. Ivory black. Ivory black. Burnt umber. Let's see, burnt umber. I have some burnt umber here. Nice dark burnt umber. Burnt umber is pretty much like a very dark brown. Let's actually add in black for some of our shadows here. We're gonna dramatize some of the our shadow here. Let's dramatize this. We're gonna add some drama to our painting here. And let's see now. Let's get some darker shadows into the hair right here. We're gonna go real dark black. Nice ivory black right into this, to the top of the hair here. Gonna get some more ivory black. Let's get some deep shadows, right? Let's find some nice expressive gray for the hair right here. We're gonna find, let's see. There we go. There's a nice expressive gray right here. Expressive gray. I totally mean that, like, you know, expressive gray. Now, this dude, this guy, he is totally leaning into his hairstyle. You know, really sticking with the salt and pepper look. And I want to capture that. I like it. I want to capture this unique values of, when I say values, I mean, you know, the range of grays, the range of, like, between a color white and black. You know, titanium white and ivory black. Along the way, there's a range of values in between. Original Mean Girl. Hey, what's up? Oh, it is available. Here, let me go ahead and post the link. It's a full size. It's a full size version. It's available on eBay. So I did promote it or use it as a full size version. So let me see. What's my active? My active share. Let me go on to YouTube. Why can't I type on my own YouTube channel? Here you go. So it is an active print through eBay. Yes, it is a full-size print. But yes, thank you for enjoying my paintings either way. So here we go. Just continue to build up the colors. Really trying to capture the lip. I think the lips are very important on figures. And here we go. So we're gonna go. And just, I see right now that there's way too many hard shadows here. So let's go ahead and reduce some of the hard shadows around the nose. Oh, yeah, I don't want to have so many hard shadows around the nose here. So we're gonna go. Let's start to round out some of these shadows here. I'm gonna round them out. Just round them out. You know what? Let's see. I'm gonna soften up some of these shadows. So we're gonna blend them down. You know what I gotta do? I need to just like stop messing around. I gotta stop messing around. Just add a lot of color. Add some paint, right? I keep doing these like little brushy strokes, but what I need to be doing is I need to just find a color and just like layer it on. Layer on a nice color. Whatever color I feel like needs to be there, I should just layer it on. I'm pussyfooting around the paintings, which is never good. AKA, what I mean by that is being a wimp with the paint. I don't want to be a wimp with the paint. Also, the problem that I find, the reason why I feel like I'm doing this is because sometimes I get too like, you know, sometimes the paint could get a little bit out of hand. Let's see how we can find this. Let's find this area here. Let's get some wet paint here. Wet paint down. We're just gonna lay down some wet paint. That's the one thing I want to work on with these portraits that this portrait series I'm be doing is finding that balance between, you know, expressive brushwork and just that natural, just a natural human appearance, you know? That shadow that does not need to be there. Let's grab this yellow ochre here. Let's see, right here. Tighten it up with our green. With our pink. Right up here, we're gonna come up. You know what I'm gonna do? Once I finally get like the color down, once I finally get the color down, you know, we're gonna play around with some design here. Wow, you just ordered it. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Original Mean Girl. Thank you for purchasing a copy of my my the Creation of Excellence print. Very grateful. Put a lot of time into it, and yeah, it was a fantastic, exciting project. And thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for not just, you know, purchasing it, but like being a part of the whole, you know, the whole experience. Because it's through the conversations and the engaging chats on here that chats on here. So I will get that out. We'll get that out here in a little bit. The Creation of Excellence to stare you down. Yes, it will definitely have it will definitely provide a stare down experience. Not only do you have the excellence of Michelangelo, but also the significance of Michael Jordan. So yes, it did populate, by the way. I received receive the info, so we'll go ahead and take care of that here. We'll be very grateful to take care of that ASAP. Yes, and I do have a company that helps me do it, so we'll be following up with you here as it happens, for sure. But thanks again for being part of the whole thing, and all of that. And here we go. We're gonna go and paint this, reduce some of the shadow or the darker values here. I just want to add some highlights to like capture some specific zones of color where I might need some in a little bit. So this is just helping me establish some lighter areas. Just keeping it fairly loose. And honestly, I might keep the her side. So awesome. You know, I need to get a drink and get some water. Have a sip. I'll be right back to continue this painting. Honestly, I'll probably be working on this painting for quite a while. Maybe at least a few streams, maybe some hours, quite a few hours. We'll see. Hey Scout, what's up, pal? Huh? How are you? What's up, Mr. Cat with the big teeth? Cat's got the big teeth. Yes, you got the big teeth, Scout. Yes. You know the big teeth, huh? You know, the most interesting thing, not the most interesting, I'm exaggerating because, you know, I think it's nice to dramatize things, right? It's good to add some drama to your life. The most interesting thing of my cat is watching their teeth grow, you know? Like, if you ever have cats, like, you ever just see their teeth be these teeny tiny little things, and then suddenly they're like fangs that are just like extremely long, and it just reminds you that, like, at one point in time, their ancestors are still deadly. Their brethren in nature are still some of the most deadly creatures on the planet. The apex predators of the jungle. Like, even humans, like, you know, a human getting with no weapons in the same room as a leopard has no hope of survival. I got the wrong brush. What's up with this brush? How did this brush get all messed up? But it's like so funny to see their teeth grow and realize that, like, this cat is deadly, honestly. Like, my cat could probably beat me in a fight. Like, you know, obviously, I wouldn't ever get into a fight with my cat. But, like, hypothetically speaking, you know, all it would need to do is leave a couple scratches, a good bite mark on my throat, and then run away. Right, Scout? You think you could beat me in a fight, Scout? Huh? You think you could beat me in a fight? Yes, you do. I know you do. Him and his sister are always fighting. Who's got cats? No rush. Thanks again. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So wonderful. Thank you. I want to just add a bit more color into this area right here. Let's try to find. There we go. Let's try to, let's bring in some reds here. Bring that up a little bit. It's a lot of red. There we go. Let's add some red into his cheeks and into his forehead here. I really want to tighten up this eye eventually, but for now it's still too wet for me to really work with. Let me see. Maybe I can add something. Let's go add a shadow here. So this needs to go pretty much almost vertical. So we're gonna go boom. And then we're gonna come around ever so slightly. Hey, how are you? Okay.
It really hurt my back putting it in there. I thought I could do it. Someone help me get it off the shelf. I thought.
I can get it. Not right now, though.
I'll do something okay.
I can get it.
Get it into the Ugh, it's a super pain.
So guess what, Kat?
What?
Somebody, original mean girl, purchased one of my prints.
Yes! Which one?
The Creation of Excellence.
That with Lady Gaga?
No, the Creation of Excellence with the
I don't know which one that is.
Creation of Excellence, Michael Jordan one.
Oh!
The Sistine Chapel one.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know that's what you said.
Come on, you gotta know the names of my paintings.
Yeah.
All of them, every single one. The dates, the times, the creation. You gotta know everything. Everything.
Try to know everything.
It's a lot though, I get it. Excuse me. How do I navigate this? Oh. Painting eyes just right can be quite the challenge.
So, does...
Do I have a parrot? I have a bird. I have a parakeet.
Does it get shipped to them?
Her name is Sun. Yes, it gets shipped to them. Obviously, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna drive across the country to send a.
That's
send
what
a
it
print.
takes. That's what you do. have one case on the shelf. I'm so excited to see one case of fancy. Yay. Yay.
Where do I go for?
Little creatures, what do you like?
Hmm.
What's your favorite? You gonna eat it? Don't you like it? Simba. Eat it, buddy. Eat it.
Okay. How do I do this? Let's see. How should I continue to tackle this? I think I need a smaller brush here. I think I need to start working with a slightly smaller brush. So I'm going to go to one of my... Oh, this brush might be a little bit too big. Yeah! Excuse me. This will be a good one. Start working with this. We'll get some progress. Draw the parrot. You have one too. Can you see it? I hear it. Yeah. Okay. You could show the parrot. Let's see the parrot. The parakeet. Let's do a little tour of our apartment. I'll do a little tour of our apartment here. This is some art that my partner Kathleen purchased from Russia. Some art many years ago. Where's my cat? Oh, my cat's not here. I was gonna show my cat, but oh, here's one of my cats. She's in her litter box. Look at her. She's ever seen a cat in a litter box? There she is. Good girl, Fern. Look at her. Look at her. She's being a good girl. Look at her. How good she is with cleaning up her poo-poo. Yes, good girl. Good girl, Fern. Good girl. Covering up your poo-poo. Yes. Good kitty. Oh, look at her. Look at her cleaning up after herself. Good girl, Fern. Okay. This is some art that Kat, my girlfriend, my partner, purchased from Africa. She's got these from Africa. I don't know what country. I think it was from South Africa. Oh, some is from South Africa, some is from Cape Verde. So Africa is a massive continent, people. I always have to remember to correct myself when I say Africa, that, you know, that's a huge continent. And here's little son. What's up, son? Look at her massive house. That is a, like, for a human being, this is like a 7,000 square foot, 10-room home. Right? This probably, for one bird, there's one, two, this could be like 6 rooms on a second floor, and then the first room is a massive kitchen with a massive living room and like an office space with a garage. This is a mansion for a parakeet. Too bad she doesn't have a car or kids. She actually doesn't like other birds. We tried to get her a parakeet before, and she would always peck at the parakeet. She would always peck at the other guy, and you know, they just never became friends. And one day he escaped. He's like, I'm getting the heck out of here. Cat went to go feed them, opened the little door, and got right on out of here. And yeah, well, see, I showed other people's artwork, but here's some artwork. Here's an artwork I'm actually quite fond of, as simple as it is. So this is actually a painting. So this is actually a painting based on a Vincent van Gogh drawing, and it was one of my earlier paintings. What I really like about it is these two people. I think I captured them very well. And I don't always do, like, for some reason, these two characters that are just standing there, I feel like I did a good job with them, so I'm proud of it. I don't always capture people like that. And there's just like a, I don't know, there's something about these two people that I just love about my own painting. I know you're not allowed to like your own stuff. I know you're not supposed to, you know, feed your own ego, but I like it. But I can't take credit for it totally. I painted them. I like the way I painted them, but you know, ultimately it was a drawing based on a Vincent. It is based on a Vincent van Gogh drawing. So here we go. I'm gonna continue working this precious painting. All right, let me see. Gotta check my phone real quick. Check some updates before I keep painting.
Hey, come there. Take Pookie. She's trying to eat the raw chicken.
She likes raw chicken.
It's a new band-aid. It's to stay on for like 7 days. Hey, now stop that. Get out of here. Go.
Okay. What shall we do with this painting? I want to do something interesting with this painting. I don't want to just make it like a regular painting. Let me make it something different. I think, you know, right now I'm thinking of like color themes, you know? So we got these color themes here. We got these oranges, these reds. I think I need some greens. Just like little highlights of green. Actually, you know what? I was going to do something with a smaller brush. That's what I need to do. See, that's one thing about painting is if you're constantly like... It's so easy to get distracted while painting. You know, that's where the focus comes in. It's very helpful. Right? Like I could be like doing one thing here and then suddenly I'll notice something to do here and then I'm suddenly distracted from my original thing. And it can be hard. Like, you know, I've never gone to see if I have ADD or ADHD.
No.
But, you know, I feel like everybody has some form of it. You know, and some people, and this is not medical advice, people. I'm not spreading medical misinformation. I'm just sharing my thoughts around what it means, the general understanding of what ADD, ADHD is. And you know what? I think today with the attention span of social media and just like constant scrolling, I feel like every adult probably has some, even a minor form, at least a minor, you know, has had some experience with ADHD. And like how can you, I feel like how can you not develop a form of ADHD in modern society, right? Like how can you not develop an attention span that only lasts 7 seconds when, you know, the most popular Instagram videos are only like 40 seconds long? And it's like, you know, how do you not develop that, right? How do you not reduce your attention span and like focus? I think we're starting to get to where we want to be, which is which we can be happy about. Let's do that. Yes. What's up, Scout? Scout, are you harassing Pookie as Fern? Huh? What are you? Oh yeah. Hey, you can see our cats now. Hold on. Let me. Earlier we got a tour of our parakeet. Let's see one of my our recent kitties. He's no longer a kitten. He's a teenager now. And he expects to be treated like a teenager, an adult. Look at this guy. What is he doing? You say, hey, he said hello. Did everybody see that? Did you see him say hello? Say hello, dude. Scout. What's up, bro? What? What? Scout? What's up, bud? Hello? He's not the talker of the group. He just acts sweet. Every artist needs a cat. Even if they're a dog person, I feel like all artists, if you are able to have one, should consider having a cat. You know, unless like, I think the only reason why people shouldn't have a pet is if they've already had a pet and they just can't deal with the heartbreak of an animal passing away again. And that is really tough to get over. And, you know, that's one way I can understand when someone doesn't want a pet. But if you have never had a pet, you know, I think it's a really important thing. They're quite special. I was reading this biography about a guy named Jack Welch. He's a very well-known CEO of General Electric. And I was reading his biography, and he was saying how one of his biggest regrets in life is not having had a dog. One of his biggest regrets in life was that he grew up not liking dogs. And honestly, I have all sorts of opinions about people who don't like animals, maybe even dogs. But I'm not going to get into that. And you know, I can accept other people's opinions and stuff, other people's perspectives. Everybody's got, you know, different reason for things. But you know, he said that was one of his biggest regrets in life, was that he didn't discover the love of a dog earlier, the love of dogs, which is interesting to hear. All right, and here we go. We're gonna reduce the nostril of this figure. Let's reduce his nostrils. His nostrils are not that prominent. little highlight along the top of his nose right here. You know what? We could probably tighten his eyes up right now. I think one of the things I gotta do is reduce the whiteness of his eyes. Let's see. This eyebrow, this eyelid right here is a little bit too distinct. So let's try to reduce the. Let's use this brush. I'm actually gonna use a an arm stand. I think we're reaching a point where I want to start using an arm stand here. And let's see. We're gonna go. Just gonna go with this. And then here we go. We're gonna come in here, come down, bring that over a little bit, and then add our shadow right underneath here. Add some shadow. Just an ever so slight, like top of the lid shadow is what I'm looking for. I don't want it to overpower, but I do want it to be distinct enough. And then give him some. This is a man of distinction. Man of distinction. So, some shadow around the eye is not going to hurt. I might have to lighten that, blend around it, but I think for now this is actually a good touch. Let's see how this is looking. So we want to go and come down into here. Just brush it down. I don't want too much highlight. This white highlight's a little too much right now. So I want to go right here and just bring it around. And then the top of the eyelid, nice and distinct. Oh yeah, so let's go ahead and get back to like this original theme that I was actually, the original theme of what I was saying for the beginning of this live stream. Which is, how much art do you have left in you? And I know this sounds a little bit, like uncomfortable to talk about. And it's not for everybody, so like, if it's not for you, cover your ears if you're very young, if you, have a problem talking about that type of stuff. But like, I was looking at this LinkedIn post one time, and it's meant to be motivational, not to be like, not to be like upsetting. But I was looking at this LinkedIn post, and on this LinkedIn post, this person was explaining why they decided to move back to their home state after a long career in like tech. And one of the main reasons they gave was that they realized that the average person only lives to about 80, 70, and that their parents were pretty much like, in their getting pretty close. And he was saying how he only visits his parents like once a year, And it made him realize, like, you know, if he's gonna visit his parents just once a year, how many more times is he gonna see them? And that really stuck out to me. That, like, that idea really stuck out to me, and I relating it to art. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, let's just say for the typical artist, you know, if they're only gonna live average lifespan 80, 70, right? How much art can we really make in a lifetime? If we're only making like one piece a month, or like, you know, even one painting a year, is that enough for the creative person, for the highly creative personality that just loves to paint? Is that enough? I don't think that's enough. That is not enough artwork. So that's my motivational idea, and maybe you decide, you know, this might even be something too. Is like you decide, you know, it's not worth to paint, right? Maybe it's decided that painting isn't how you want to spend your time. And that's cool too, I guess, right? Who knows? So let's add, there's a little bit of a chat there. A little bit of a inspirational, deep, somewhat sad, but motivating inspiration. Inspiration there. So I want to darken, I want to get bold here. I'll find somewhere between black and burnt umber. Let's find this. Let's find our eyes here. Yeah, I don't think this. This brush won't do the job for me. I need a slightly thinner brush. Something a little bit more delicate for what I'm doing. That brush is just too, a little too thick. This, even this brush has issues because these little fibers here. You know what? I'm gonna go even smaller. Go even smaller. Let's see if we can make this brush work. All my fine tip brushes are like, I can never keep them nice and fine. That's a problem that I have. I'm going to use our Mark Maggiore brush. Let's see if this brush can work its magic. So this is a Mark Maggiore brush from Rosemary & Co. Mark Maggiore I would consider one of the best modern Western artists of our time. Painters. And he launched the brush set with Rosemary & Co. Okay, and we're gonna go bottom here, get some eyeliner. Eyeliner along the bottom here. And it kind of disappears. The eyeliner disappear a bit. And And then tighten up this eye. Bring this eye right here. Let's go. Probably needs to go even a little bit further up. Let's try to find this one. So let's try to find our shadows for this one here. I'm gonna go, of course it's gonna be an eyelid. I have an eyelid, nice subtle eyelid going across. Then we're gonna have the eye. So that should be pretty much flat across, not this angle here. That's interesting. Okay. A little bigger. And it's going to come up. And then let's go across. Across here. And then we're going to come down. And that's getting a little better. Can y'all see when I get this close? Probably can't see what. Oh yeah, you can see what I'm doing. I often like worry when I'm live streaming. I often like worry like, can people see what I'm doing? Because sometimes I like, might cover the space that I'm working. But anyway, just some random conversation regarding live streaming. Something's looking off to me. I think what it is this area right here. Let's add a bit of black into this, just to darken the eyes features here, eye features. Here we go. This eyelid needs to come around more, so we're gonna come around. Is that right? Might have to rework this quite a few times, but we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere, people. This has progressed quite far from where we once were. We started with nothing, and now we have something. We started from the bottom, now we're here. You know, I can't say that I started from the bottom. I didn't start from the bottom. I was born, and I had the good fortune of my mom immigrating to the United States of America. She put in all the hard work to help us become citizens. And, you know, I feel like that alone has given me such a great advantage in my lifetime. You know, the fact that my mom was like, hey, we're going to move to America. I'll figure everything out when I get there. And she did. This is not my parents, by the way. I don't know if that's not clear or not. But yeah, I feel like anyone who has the opportunity to move to America, I mean, you know, in modern time America, I'm not talking like historically in America, which is, you know, has a history of like oppression and, you know, things like that, and people have all sorts of things to say about today. But in general, I think that the fact that my mom made the choice to move to America, you know, I'm not saying people in other countries are like at the bottom, but just the fact that of living in America, I mean, I think you're in the top 10% of the entire planet, no matter how much you make. I mean, you know, it does matter how much you make, but I mean, like, you know, the income of like Americans. I was talking to somebody from Hong Kong, and they were saying how the income of someone in California and working in McDonald's, which is $20 an hour now. If you work at fast food, you make $20 an hour, and that income is actually quite a lot. Like that is 5 times as much as a young person living in Hong Kong makes. So there's some perspective for me. I don't know if other people need that perspective, but I did. That just blew my mind, you know, like $20 an hour. Alexa, what is $20 US dollars converted to Hong Kong dollars?
From exchange-rates.org. 20 US dollars equals 155.77 Hong Kong dollars as of January 22nd, 2025, 5 a.m. UTC.
So 155. So a person living in Hong Kong would be making about $1,200 a day. $1,200 a day in Hong Kong dollars if they worked at fast food, with Los Angeles, California wages. Alexa, what is the average cost of an apartment in Hong Kong?
Here is what I found from boardgenproject.org. The smallest apartments in Hong Kong cost around $1,000 per month, with more spacious units ranging from $2,000 to $2,500 before utilities.
Wow, $2,500. So that means that in one day, $20 an hour for someone working in McDonald's, they can pay for a decent apartment in Hong Kong with just 2 days of work. My goodness. Does that not blow anybody's mind? So 2,500. Well, maybe she said, no. Alexa, can you repeat what was the last thing you said?
Sorry, there is nothing to repeat.
Alexa, no, I think Alexa got it wrong. That was totally, so she was probably saying US dollars, not Hong Kong dollars. So who knows how much that is actually in Hong Kong dollars. Probably mixed that up. Probably should have. Probably need some clarification there, but whatever. We can do that later. Let's see. What do I want this background to be? I want them to look like they're, you know, they're sitting on chairs or something. figure this out. I want to modify this nose. It'd be nice to have some deeper shadows on these faces, but I'm not that fortunate, so. Yeah, when you're working from reference, sometimes you gotta like make do with references that you can find, and then sometimes, you know, it's like you get an opportunity to make your own references, which creates something, you know, totally different. Let's go right here. Let's go. Add this highlight. What's up, Fern? What you doing? What you thinking about? What you thinking about, little lady? It's my cat. Or that's my girlfriend's cat. Both are our cat. I've since adopted her in some way, but. She doesn't always respond to me. I think this eye needs to flow a little bit better, but here's what we can do. Let's start to add a little bit of red around the eyes. Let's go red around the eyes. We'll go.
Question: have you used the capers that were in a jar?
A long time ago.
All of them?
I definitely feel like we've used them all at some point, yes. What's up with capers? They don't do anything.
Yeah, they do. They have a flavor.
Oh.
It's all about flavor. What I eat.
Oh. Yeah, I don't like that this other eye is so much bigger. This other eye looks dramatically bigger. There's something up. Scout. Psst. Get off. I have to spray my table so my cat doesn't go on my area. All right, what can I do about this eye? This is such a hard eye to do. When someone's got their eye rotated, their face rotated toward you, it's a very challenging eye to work on. And I might have to redo this eye again. And I will do it again if I have to. But just thinking about, you know, what needs to happen here. And here's the funny thing, I don't know why I spend so much time making my painting look this accurate, because I know it's ultimately I'm gonna modify, like this is just like not how I want to do my paintings. Because eventually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like just spice this whole thing up. I'm gonna spice this whole thing up and we're gonna make it look very, very different. All right, let's go. Are we almost there yet? How's the side looking? The eye's looking a little better. I don't need it to be too realistic. This is a little bit better. Let's round this out. Try to find the shape there. Let's see if we get this into purple here. I'm gonna get into the purple zone. Let's go like this. Nobody's knocking, cat. Nobody's knocking. Nobody's knocking. Alright, let's figure this out. Go pink here. And let's go curve around here. highlights into there. And this area around the eyes a little bit too, it's kind of funky, right? There's like some funkiness around the eyes. Just looks very deep, and I think it's because the eye, I think this area of the eye is a little bit too not smooth. It needs to be smoother. And this shadow's a little too deep. Let's build some highlights around the eye. Let's just see, I really just want to see where exactly this could go with some extra highlight, because I like this idea that there's this like bit of eyeliner that comes to the side, but I don't want it to look like a wrinkle. It needs to be very like, because I think it's pretty much eyeliner. This eye's still not looking smooth enough. It's got to be something. What's up with it? I think this other eye is just like so dominant. Let me see what happens if I blend this other side a bit better. I think it's because this one might be too painted and this one's still kind of like not painterly. Maybe it's just that one, this one's like nice and sharp. I don't know. And this one's just not as sharp. All right, let's take a little break here. I'm gonna pull up some. Let's go ahead and do the top of this chair. I'm gonna go yellow ochre, dark yellow ochre here. Just gonna come across the top. And let's go, boom. Grab our yellow ochre again. Honestly, I could probably use a bigger brush now for this. Let's grab our thicker brush here. Go boom, boom, boom. I will have to modify this eye at some point. There's definitely needs some work to be done. But for now, I think we've got the gist of it. And I want to add some, like a dark form here, like a ridge from which to work. This good old like dark yellow ochre color. Let's add some more of that. Let's see. Go a little bit further, a little bit denser with this. I do have the problem that this is still wet, so I think I'm gonna have to just grab more and make it thicker. Let's grab our yellow ochre again. I want to try to keep this thickness about the same, so we're gonna go. This is just helping us get our shapes right now. We're not like, this isn't how it's exactly going to look, but and there we go. We've got that. Let me see how I can carve away some of this. Let's see. I use this brush, nice little filbert brush. This is an evergreen long filbert. I think what I want to do is see if I could carve this eye to just make more sense. Hey, that's a little better, no? I don't want these, I don't want this hard defined edge anymore. Maybe bring her cheek up. I think that might be the issue. If I'm thinking about it. Maybe bring the cheek up a bit more. Let's see now. Let's go. Okay, so this eye is going to come up. Better? I think that's a little better. Maybe it's the proportion of the eye. What's going on with this eye? Let me try something else. What's up with this eye?
How soon will you be ready to eat?
I don't know, 10 minutes?
We're in 5. Let's say 7:39.
All right, so you're saying we should eat now? Is it ready?
Ready.
All right, well, I guess that's our cue to, that's the cue to take a break, people.
You want real plates? Paper.
I would like real plates. No, let's just do paper plates, whatever, I don't care.
You're eating at the table?
Yeah,
Rock?
yes.
Okay, that's good.
All right, cleaning off the brushes real quick. The one struggle I deal with as I'm working on this painting is I know that no matter how good it turns out, you know, it could be like the greatest piece ever. But the fact that it took me so long and working through so many iterations, that's the thing I think needs to be worked on. Because I think that when you're, you know, if you get really good at something, it becomes really easy, like secondhand, you know? The fact that I'm still trying to figure out one eye. I guess, you know, what I'm working on is a drawing skill as opposed to a painting skill. But either way, you know, I still think that this is in the early phases. I like to say that. But, you know, I still got some work to do, so. Let's go ahead and wrap stuff up for now, take a little break. We'll come back to paint another day. So those of you that tuned in, thank you. And for those of you that have purchased the piece, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. It helps to support the arts. the ongoing purchase of canvases and paints, support shows, and so many things. So here we go. I'm gonna close up our lids here. One thing I use that I just closed up is the our Masterson sealable paint palette. Comes in very handy. But with that, still working this piece through, still working through some challenges. I think the biggest challenge is that I need to get rid of some of the shadows. Like, it's just so funny because I'm looking at this. And this eye is just like, there's just something up with this, the way that this eye is painted. And I think maybe it needs more length. But compared to this eye, like, obviously this eye looks smaller, I mean bigger. So I think that's the issue. But I just like, I feel like I'm designing what I'm seeing.
Hi, sweetheart.
Anyway, just talking through some drawing challenges. But let's talk later, people. Have a good day.